Baruch the Yahweh, Baruch the Yahweh Shai, Baruch the Yahweh, Baruch the Yahweh Shai, Baruch the Yahweh, Baruch the Yahweh Shai. Oh, praise unto Yahweh Shemi Al Shai, Wahara Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles of GreatMillStone, and honest you others that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. This is going to be a video going into the space-based missiles that they want out there. And pretty much this is all linking into prophecies. Okay, you got it to where it's gonna be linking into what's gonna happen when the Lord returns. Because when the Lord's gonna return, the scripture talks about how there was gonna be a particular war that they're gonna be fighting out there within the skies. So you're gonna have them missiles that they have out there that's gonna be involved in that. Also, too, the scriptures. The Bible speaks about a World War III. So you've had a nuclear arms race. Now you got it to where you got arms race to basically see, okay, like it says here, a military standoff in space would be that's not what I wanted to read, but there we go. A nuclear standoff in space would be as disastrous as the nuclear arms race. Okay, so that's another article. So they got this thing popping off out there, pretty much with the US. I believe Russia's probably going to be involved in that, and most probably China, in seeing how much missiles that they can have out there within space. Okay, both for extraterrestrial and terrestrial threats. Okay, and or both of which terrestrial threats go into the prophecies, and extraterrestrial threats go into the return of Yahweh Shai, or which both are spoken about within the book of Revelation, within the book of Exodus, 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, which I'm going to get in a second. So it says U.S. Military outlines plans for space-based anti-missile assets demanded by lawmaker. Okay, U.S. lawmakers want rapid development of space-based anti-missiles. Okay, so that's when missiles are fired, they're going to fire missiles back. And this was the big thing that they had out there between the borders of Russia, where they was putting anti-air missiles that was made out there within America, and those missiles basically could be converted to be hostile missiles, okay, regular ass missiles, and they're not going against any other threat, if you will. Okay, so it says defense officials have details on how they are going to meet the demands which Russia sees as a threat to mutual nuclear deterrence. Okay. So it says so I think that's a particular treaty that the U.S. has between Russia and America, where they're basically saying, or was said, is to basically come away from these ICBM nuclear missiles. All right. Speaking at the space and missile defense, I saw symposium. Okay, in Huntsville, Alabama, General Samuel Greaves, the director of the U.S. Military Defense Agency, said he was not averse to developing and fielding space-based interceptor missiles, okay, to intercept the threat, okay. And he says, and he also outlined how a future network of space-based sensors designed to track missiles may look like. Russia has already objected to the plans, which had been enshrined in the fiscal year 2019 defense spending legislation, saying it would lead to consequences as harmful as those of the Cold War arms race, because pretty much they're gonna have to have their own basically when you have an arms race, man, all right, you're gonna have it to where people are gonna be, well, it's a race, isn't it? So once the US puts their things up there, okay, you're gonna have Russia put their missiles up there, and so on and so forth. And then obviously it's going to climax. So all of these ties into the scriptures, okay, dealing with the World War III. And ultimately, like I mentioned, those missiles also going to be, or those interceptor missiles, if you will, are going to be also used to what? To be trying to attack extraterrestrial threats, okay, which is going to be what? The chariots, okay, that the Lord's going to be coming and returning with. Okay, all of those things, okay, are going to come into play, all right? But what's going to happen is, as spoken about within the book of Revelations, the 12th chapter, the Lord's going to prevail. Him and his angels are going to prevail. Michael and his angel and the angels, okay, the forces that the Lord is coming with, so to speak, are going to be coming up against who? These dudes, Esau, the dragon, okay, and the scripture says that they're going to stop from the war that they're fighting, and they're going to fight up against the Lord, okay. So it says there, and it came to pass after 7 days. This is the book of 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter on the first verse. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and where he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever his voice went out of his mouth, or they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered unto him a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of earth to subdue that man. So they're going to leave off all the particular wars that they have against each other. I believe I might even say that within this verse, which is why you got this nuclear arms race. You got this space arms race. You got a nuclear arms race. Okay, everybody's ramping up for World War III. Okay, and that's a good thing, because it goes into this, okay, to the fulfillment of these prophecies. And I would have seen, all right, so let me read again. To subdue that man that came out of the sea, okay, came out of the sky, the Shamayim, because when you go into the word sea, it goes into the word Shamayim, which means waters. So you could be talking about the waters in the heavens and in the skies, okay, or the sea, okay, and so on and so forth. So this is talking about the sky and that, okay, he's coming out from outer space, so you can understand. Okay, and I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where the hill was graven, I could not. This is talking about a chariot. That's why they're developing these so-called these so-called interceptor missiles, because those interceptor missiles can also be used as what? As space missiles. Okay, like I mentioned, that examples when they had those so-called interceptor missiles on Russia's borders. They had a big hoo-ha in Russia, okay, because those missiles could be used as aggressive actual missiles against Russia, as opposed to anti-aircraft or or like they call them, like, interceptor missiles or anything like that. Okay, so briefly continuing, just the last bit here. And I beheld, lo, they which were gathered to subdue him were so afraid, but yet durst fight. So the Lord's actually going to put the spirit within this man to fight up against the Lord. So you got a lot of things that's going to be happening, man. Okay, the World War with the World War III in mind, you're going to have a lot of people. You're going to have these countries, okay, building up their so-called nuclear arsenal, building up their so-called space anti-missile aircraft, okay, in the build-up to the World War III. But all that also is going to be used. They're going to try to use it against the Lord. And the scripture says that they're going to fail. Okay, matter of fact, if I go into the scriptures, into the book of Revelations, the 12th chapter, is going to speak about that. Okay, Revelations 12. And I go to the point. Revelations 12 and 12. Okay, so it says 12 and 12 I want. No, it's not 12 and 12. It's okay, so Revelations 12 and 7 says, and there was war in heaven, and Michael and these angels fought against the dragon and his angels. So when they're having World War III, okay, hence the reason of these missiles that we've seen in that article, and then ultimately the war against the Lord. Okay, they're not gonna prevail. Okay, it says, and the fought against the dragon and his angels, and they prevailed not. Neither was there any place left anymore in heaven for them. So that kingdom that they had, okay, which they were fighting to take into the new ages, which is the so-called New World Order, they're not going to be able to achieve that, okay, because the Lord didn't set it up for them to achieve that. Okay, so, Lord's will, okay, that was of edification. That I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahweh, double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Honestly, brothers, to be pushing this truth in sincerity. And Lord's will, I get to see you on the next video. Shalom.